Okay, tonight I have a 23-inch Zaza and Sacci backgammon board review. Have this board for about 3 months, I believe. It's their biggest size, 1 3/4 of an inch size checkers, gorgeous checkers. I think one of the best looking checkers around. Price is I paid 1,700, well 1,699, so 1,700. But Zaza and Sacci have raised their prices for all of their boards and their checkers. So now you're looking at 1,800 to buy one of these, um, and $100 more for their other boards. I do have a 20-inch and a travel size 15-inch. And if you guys are wondering if there's a big difference in size, there is. Uh, for example, these are the 1 3/4 inch checkers compared to the 20-inch board checkers that you get. I think they listed at not quite 1.5, but you do see there's a significant difference. And then for the travel 15-inch board, you get these 1 3/16 inch checkers, I believe. Which, I mean, they're not hard to move around, and the board is obviously significantly smaller. But you're not gonna want to use that travel board for anything but a home game or a friendly match or something to study on, because the board is very small compared to the 23 and the the 23 and the 20-inch. So just so you guys can see the difference in checker size. Uh, Interestingly enough, they are the same thickness, just like the diameter is the difference. Okay, so I'll put these away. Okay, right off the bat, the positives on this board is obviously it's all leather. Cups are all leather. They have a different type of patch on the bottom of each cup. Sturdy, good size cups. Um, if you like the smell of leather, you get a nice whiff of the leather quality. It comes with, which I don't think I've seen another backgammon board or manufacturer that does this, but they come with two separate handles. They're not as thick as one handle would be combined, but they're nice, sturdy leather handles. Let's see. Other positives is the checkers slide very smoothly on the surface. They have a nice sound to them. The surface, as opposed to, and the points, as opposed to the 20-inch, it's all smooth leather, as opposed to the 20-inch board that has Dolero points. So one color would be Dolero, the other one would not. Other positives is not as heavy. Okay, it's pretty much the same, maybe a little heavier than the FTH board. It's not heavy at all. So, but I would recommend buying a case for it to protect it. You want to protect a nice leather $1,800 board. Now, if you're wondering how it compares to a Jeffrey Parker, Jeffrey Parker is definitely, step above, maybe a step and a half above over this board. But you're also paying about 2.5 times as much. You're paying at least $5,000 for a Jeffrey Parker board, as opposed to a little under 2,000 for a Zaza and Sacci. Okay. Now I want to get to the negatives. There's a few negatives. First off the bat, just like in every Zaza and Sacci board, the doubling cube is an issue. Okay, not so much with the 23-inch board. They decide, well, I guess we'll give them a decent cube for if they're paying, $1,800. But, it's still a 1-inch Dublin cube that doesn't really match the board or the checkers. It's just like for Zaza and Sacci, the Dublin cube's an afterthought for them. It's like it's the last thing, they think of it. Whoops, we forgot to put a Dublin cube. I guess we're gonna have to make some kind of a pocket for it or storage, and to hell if they want a bigger cube, all they get is a 1-inch space to put their cube in. So, as opposed to the cube that you get from this is from a FTH board, a 1.5-inch cube, as opposed to a 1-inch cube. So I tend to use other cubes with this board. I'm a little hesitant to use cubes that have some kind of a metal construction, because I just don't want my board to get marks or scratches on it. So I go with this nice felt, and so it's not as, so it goes smoothly when you drop them. So when you drop the cube, but if you do use a bigger size cube, then you can't really place it here. I mean, I guess you can, but I guess you'd have to place it there if you don't want it lopsided. So I don't know, Zaza and Sacci, their cube craftsmanship leaves a lot to be desired for sure. Okay, other negatives is that when you buy the board, you do not get any extras from them. Gammon Village gives you 2 sets of precision dice, but they come again after you order the board. You don't get a scoreboard. You don't get a nice case for it. All you get is cups, and that's it. One thing to know, I don't think I've done a review of the travel size, but on the travel size, you do not get any cups. So, just in case that might be a deal breaker for you. Another factor, this is just, I guess, a subjective type of an issue, is the sound of these cups are not as nice as the ones that you get with the 20-inch board. They look to be constructed the same, but I guess the leather is tighter on the 23-inch than it is on the 20-inch, and they do make a different noise. So for example, this is the 23-inch as opposed to what I prefer. It has much more of a drummy type of feel. Some might like this sound better, but that's just me. One other negative is that, for example, the fit and finish of the board is not perfect. I did get a chance to look at a Jeffrey Parker board in Vegas, and to me, at first glance, everything about it was just top notch. There was no issues with the checker, stitching, fit and finish. As opposed to this board, I do find little details that are not perfect. For example, I don't know if you could tell, I'll do a close-up of what I'm talking about. Is, for example, their logo. To me, this is a little off. It's a little crooked, their logo. I noticed that it's not the case with the other boards, but to me, I guess this is glued on, or I don't know how it's placed on there, but it's a little crooked to me. within the board, there's little discoloring of, where the board and the field and the frame meet. Sometimes you can see little white patches of leather that aren't completely black on the corners as well. Um, but that's about it. I mean, I guess that's okay. It's I imagine it's hard to work with leather, so I guess I'll let that go. I'm not gonna return the. That's not a deal breaker to me. Um, Another negative is you really don't get any extras for this price point. It would be nice for them to include, I don't know, maybe a pouch for your dice, a leather pouch for your dice, or a scoreboard, or a case. Um, so before I move on, I'm gonna give you a close up of what I'm talking about in terms of it not being 100%. Um, you know, with the fit and finish not being perfect, as opposed to a Jeffrey Parker board. But I don't want to pay $5,000 for a perfect leather board. Okay, as you can see, the logo stamp is, to me, not centered correctly. It's not even. So, I mean, it could be just me, but I think you guys might be able to see that. I'm gonna go ahead and give you close-ups of the points. I forget the colors. I think it's, it's not white. It's not like a yellow color. I think they're nice. The field and the points are pretty nice. And what I'm talking about is looking at, for example, this corner right there. I'm pretty sure the camera will pick it up. I'll zoom in a little bit. But you see little white patches of leather, and then you'll see that again here, little strips of leather just kind of poking out. Doesn't affect the dice. It's not as, it's not a big deal. Like I said before, it's not a deal breaker for me. But, for close to $2,000, you do want something that's, doesn't have any flaws at all. Those are the only real issues I have with the board. Okay. Let me see. These are just my notes. This is the packaging it comes with. It comes very well packaged. Oh, one thing I did mention on the other two boards that was a problem for me was the packaging of the checkers this time. They did wrap them where the tape isn't touching the checkers at all. So, maybe for the 23-inch, they do a better job. Nice construction of the hinges. They do say it's 24 karat plated gold. I don't really care about that. Okay. I'll go ahead and set up the checkers, roll a few, numbers so you guys could get a feel and for how the board plays. Okay, let's set this up. Okay. 3-2 for white. Okay, 3-1 for orange. I'm gonna make the 5 here. Ooh, double threes. Okay, gotta make the 5. 1, 2. Okay, I gotta make 2 points here. 3, 4. Okay, 3, 5. Got a point. Let's get a number. Okay, white needs to perform here to avoid the cube. Double 1 is nice. It's 1. 2, 3. And too many blocks here. Okay, 4. Now it's orange's turn. 3, 4 with the 7 from heaven. And now, I think no matter what white rolls, orange has a cube. Well, no, you do have some jokers, double 4. Alright, there we go. Double threes, that's a dance. And orange. Let's see, we're threatening a checker here. We could, I mean, we do have some market losers. 3 checkers back. I think this is a double. And, this is probably a double take since white is anchored. Okay, another thing I would suggest if you do buy a leather board is, this happened with all of my boards, is that I got these, especially if you have the black field, you get like an, after a while of play, you get like an ashy type of discoloring going on the field. Almost like when you get out of the shower, you haven't lotioned up, you know, your skin looks a little ashy, sort of like that. So I decided to try to put some kind of a conditioner or cleaner. This is from Chemical Guys, a detailer for leather. It says it cleans, restores, and protects. And I sprayed up, you know, all of my boards with it, and you know, those markings, those ashy type of markings are gone. So, you know, and it's been a couple weeks, so they haven't come back. So I highly suggest some kind of a conditioner for your board. If you do notice that, you know, it's becoming a little ashy, but that's not a big deal to me. Another suggestion is, of course, buying or having somebody make you a case for your backgammon board. And just like my 20-inch one, I had this made. Goes around it, and then I lay it down, you know, whatever surface I'm playing on, lay it down so my board doesn't absorb any stains or, you know, whatever gunk may be underneath the surface. And one other thing is, if you don't want to invest, I know Backgammon or Ace Point, they're now selling, as well as FM Gammon, they're selling cases for your boards. But you're going to have to spend about $200 to $250 for a case. And somebody on Facebook bought one of these on Amazon. They're meant for, I don't know if you could see it, they are meant for monitors, you know, computer monitors, but they fit a 20 to 23 inch board pretty perfectly. So You know, if you want the black, it's $85. If you want the gray, it's 75. But it's a wise investment because you know when you travel with your boards, you know they do tend to get nicked up, scratched, and you know it has padding all over. So you know I highly suggest getting one of these. And it'll fit up to a 23-inch board. I'm not sure it's gonna fit a FTH board though, because the FTHs are taller than most boards for some reason. So just buy the FTH case that's special designed for those boards. Let's see, other thoughts. You know, I get a lot of compliments with your Zaza and Sacci boards. They're very nice to play on. You know, it's a very gorgeous board. I love the leather. Excuse me, I love the checkers. I don't know. I mean, maybe in the future I might think of replacing these checkers with the weighted Zaza and Sacci checkers. But they're $175, I believe, for a roll of 15, so that's pretty pricey for a roll of checkers. If you know, and I don't know if they're gonna slide as well as these, so I guess I'll just wait for the next Sherman, and if I see some, I'll look at them more closely to see if I want to buy the weighted checkers as opposed to the regular acrylic ones. Other than that, I do recommend this board if you're looking for a high quality leather board. They come with the combination type of locks. I said 2 handles. They don't weigh a lot, and pretty sure it's gonna last a lifetime. And as you know, with leather, it's a little easier to clean up with a spill or something. Let's see, future videos. I will do one more video on the travel size Zaza and Sacci, and then I'm gonna do videos on the wear and tear of all my boards. Just a heads up, I'm a little disappointed with the wear and tear of the FM boards. They're specifically with where you place the checkers, the checker trays, the area where you put the checker trays. No matter whether you store your checkers on the board or not, you get chipping all along the rails here, and it happens rather quickly. Within 2 weeks, you're gonna get chipping all around, and there's really no way to avoid that unless you're bearing off and then you're putting your checkers on the side, instead of the tray. But and also the cups. One of my friends has one of their cups had a crack on it, so a little disappointed there with Backgammon as far as their durability, but that's for another video. All right, thanks.